and welcome. Today we're going to write our first Java program, and we are going to use these instructions that we saw earlier, that we can control a robot, ask the robot to move or turn left or make a cell dark or make it light. And I think before we get started we'll see a little demo of that. So give me a second to set this up. Let's see, I think that's this button. So we loaded a maze, and my maze is appearing way too big and off the screen, so I'm just going to move it a bit. There we go, we loaded a maze, and then we tried asking the robot to perform these instructions. Move, we saw the robot move. We can ask it to move a few times, and eventually if I get to a wall and I ask it to move, it's going to give me an error message. It also gives me an error message if I misspell something. And let's just see if we can control the robot to solve the maze. So we want we want the robot to turn left. Now let's see, I want it to move again. Move one more time. Now I'm in an interesting situation because I want to turn right, but when I ask it to turn right, I get an error message, and it says, so just like when I misspelled move, it says, I misspelled it moved-a-ja, it says there's no method, there's no, I don't know what any of this gibberish means, but it says there's nothing called moved-a-ja, and that's okay because I didn't expect there to be something called moved-a-ja, but I was kind of hoping there'd be something called turn right, so I'm very upset that turn right doesn't work, very upset. But if I go back and look at things, at what I said my robot could do, I notice turn right is conspicuously absent. Apparently I can only ask it to turn left. So I'm sure by now you've probably figured out how to get around this problem. What is the next best thing to turning right? It's turning left multiple times, and specifically if I turn left 1, 2, 3 times, 1, 2, 3, it will be as if my robot turned right, and now I can proceed through my maze. If I do that, if I type one instruction at a time toward getting the robot from where it started to the end of my maze, and I ever want to run that again, I won't be able to, because I'm not really writing a program. A program is a collection of instructions that I write once, and then I can run as often as I like. And here I'm writing it, and it runs right away, and the computer doesn't remember what it is that I ran, so I would have to type it again to run another instruction, and I don't want to do that. So let's get into using Dr. Java. So hopefully at this point you have the files that I'm using. So you need more than just Java and Dr. Java. You need, or I'm going to assume you're using Dr. Java. If you're using something else, hopefully you figured out how to work it. You're also going to need the robot files themselves, and I will make that available. Hopefully it'll be obvious how to find that. Probably there's a link below the window or above the window that you're seeing this video in, and you can find that and download that. It's probably a zip file that you'll then need to unzip. But whatever you do, let's get started. So the first step is we load Dr. Java, and mine is already loaded, but when you do load it, it will look something like this, and you will say, I would like to open a file, and it will give you a choice, and I have a whole bunch of junk in this particular directory, but I'm going to load, it turns out I can load any file, it doesn't matter, and hit compile. Whoop, sorry, that was off the screen. I hit the compile button, and once I've loaded one of those files, and I hit compile, and I'm not going to look in this file, it's complete gibberish to me now, once I've done that, you'll notice at that point the working directory becomes whatever directory your files are in, and at that point you can start telling it to load a map. Hopefully you have one available. Maybe I included it in this file, and there's mine appearing off the screen here, and you can ask your robot to move and so on. Now if you actually want to write a program, I'm going to close my world. It's going to tell me it's resetting. I don't care. If I actually want to write a program, I'm going to click this arrow here, or just scroll this region down, whatever you prefer. If I want to write a program, I will click the New button. And I'm going to call this program, I don't know, let's see, I guess we're solving a maze, so we'll call it, well, no, I'm going to have a whole bunch of instructions. I'll just call it lesson because this is my lesson, and you can call yours whatever you like. So I type public class lesson. In fact, that seems important. So whenever I write a program, I begin by saying something like public class, and then I have my file name, which is going to begin with a capital letter, like it did here, lesson, and then proceed with lowercase letters. So I write my file name, and then I'm going to have open and close braces, and then everything else will go inside of those braces. So open and close braces, everything else goes inside. And at this point, before I get any further, I'm going to save my program. And I can do that here. I'll click Save. It's asking me where I want to save it. Notice it figures out it should be called Lesson. It saves it in whatever folder I'm in, which is where I want it to be. I do want it to be a Java file, so this is good. And I click the Save button, and my program has been saved. Notice at the top it now says that my file is called lesson.java. That's the name of the file where this information is being stored. And I'm going to proceed. So what I want to do is introduce a new instruction. Not move, not turn left. I want to introduce an instruction that solves the maze. So I'm going to explain this in detail later. But here we go. Solve maze. In fact, I'll just call it solve. And so maze is going to do all the things that you'd expect it to do. So let's see. I will load my maze so I can look at it while we type. There it is. And let's see, hopefully all of this is on the screen for you. I think that's enough of the maze to see anyway. Alright, now I want to go about solving the maze. How do I do that? And I know this looks like nonsense to you. Don't worry, we're going to get to this. We're going to understand what this means. For now, I just want to look at what does it take to instruct my robot to solve the maze in a program. So let's see. I'm going to move. And then it looks like I need to move 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So notice the robot doesn't move when I type move. All I'm doing is I'm saying when this robot is asked to solve the maze, it will move 4 times. In fact, let's see that work right now. So I'm going to hit the compile button. And then I go to my, at that point my map disappears, by the way. I go to my interactions pane at the bottom and I say, now I would like to load up the maze again. And I can already see this is driving me nuts that my maze appears too big for your screen and I need to keep shrinking it. But there's my maze. And now I'm going to ask it to solve the maze, and for reasons that we'll see, I write lesson.solve. Lesson is the name of the file, and solve is the name of the method. It's called the instruction. And I ask the robot to solve the maze, and there it is, solving my maze by going 4 steps, just like I told it. But of course, that's not what I want it to do. I want it to go 4 steps, but then I want it to turn left, and then, let's see, move forward 2 more times. So now my robot's here, so I need to turn right. We can turn right by turning left 3 times. And now it's facing south, so we'll move twice. Move twice. And then I need to turn right again. That's 3 turn lefts. And then I need to move twice. Move twice. So now I'll be over here. Turn left. Turn left. Move 2 more times. Whoop, move 2 more times. Turn left again. Move, oh boy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 calls to move. Okay, 6 times. Then we'll turn left. Move 2 more times to get up where my arrow is pointing. Turn right. That means turn left 3 times. Move 2 more times. Turn left. Move 1, 2, 3, 4 more times. So that's 4 more moves, 4 more moves. Turn left. Move twice. Turn right, that's 3 turn lefts. 1, 2, 3. 2 more moves. Turn right again, that's 3 lefts. And then 2 moves, that's this entire block again. Okay, great. I don't care if you followed all of that, as long as you understand that I can put a whole bunch of sequences, a whole bunch of instructions at once. Hit compile, and then we'll try it out. So I go down to my interactions pane, I load the maze. There's my maze, and I tell it I would like you to solve the maze by typing this, telling it in the file called lesson, run this instruction I have called solve, which is going to run all of these instructions at once. And when I do that, see how we did. We wrote a lot of code all at once, so there's definitely some doubt in my mind as to whether or not we've made any mistakes here. Oop, 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 oop. Alright, let's finish on that note, and we'll get a sense of what the heck we just did in the next video. I'll see you there.